Looks like your guys need a little extra work there at the end of practice.
Yeah, trying to always do one extra thing every day, right, to continue to get better, right, stuff that we don't necessarily have time to do within the allotted time of practice. So,
on that note, 4th and 1 and 4th and 9 has been a big rallying cry for
Yep.
you guys, but what has to get better beyond?
Tackling, right, tackling in detail, playing as hard as we can every single snap, because the thing about it is, like, looking back on it, you know that those are the two plays, but when you're lining up to play those plays, you don't know that that's the play necessarily. So the attention to detail every single snap throughout the entire season, right, that's how you prevent those two situations.
Coach, we talked to Derek, and he mentioned tackling as well as one of the things that you guys are working on.
Yeah.
I know that you were also working on it last season.
Yep.
How have you kind of taken, maybe the tweaks that you were doing last season and elevating those, in fall camp?
Yeah, we really spent the offseason studying like the people that have tackled best over a long period of time, right, reaching out to them, getting their drills, like coaching it more unified. Last year we maybe practiced tackling as a position. This year it's a unit, right? We're talking about it as a unit, right? So that everyone's hearing the same coaching points, the same philosophy, doing the same drills, right? And then when they show up in the team periods throughout practice, right, making sure that it's addressed as a unit.
Who did you guys use as a model? Like, who were the teams that you guys found that you wanted to?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. A good amount of it came from the NFL. We went to visit a couple places, read some drills from them. Other ones that have been good over a long period of time, Iowa, among others. But yeah, it was a wide-ranging study and kind of culmination of different people that everybody knows. But then you got to make it fit for who you are and what you kind of do. So evolving it that way as well.
Coach, what can you say about what Gary Bryant has brought to your group?
Yeah, first and foremost, just a great human, right? He's fit into the room really well. Everybody's kind of accepted him, and he grew. We've all come together and really like him. Then his work ethic, his physicality, and he's a natural football player. So as he's learning new defenses and stuff, he just applies it to something that he already knew. He's like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm good. Like, I already know this, stuff like that. So he's assimilated really well.
Has there been like one moment in particular that has stood out about him since he's gotten here?
A variety of moments, but I mean, team run every day, that's a big emphasis for us. And early in camp, he showed up and thumped some guys a couple times. So, but everybody already knew. He's been working from the day he got here. He worked tremendously hard. So everybody kind of accepted him really quickly.
Coach, from last year to this year, what has been kind of the biggest point of, I guess, detail for you to, elevate your coaching style from last year to this year?
Yeah, just continuing to hammer, right, again, tackling, but angles of the football, details, right, it's the second year in the system, so as opposed to coming in and teaching guys new things, we're able to really dig, into the like 500 level coaching of stuff. It's not, hey, you align here and do this. It's right, okay, what to do. Right now it's the details of why you're doing it, what everybody else around you does, is doing, and how you fit into the scheme as a big picture.
Coach, when you look at room dynamic of talent of some of those guys that have come in as well as the returners, what can you say about what that room looks like and maybe where the leadership comes from, not just from Derek McDonald?
Yeah, I mean, compared to last year, right, in my mind, the depth of the room has really improved. So we've got, 8, 9 guys that you'd really feel comfortable if they had to go into the game, that you would feel really good about it. So that's been good, right? And then we're a physical team, right, at linebacker. We got to be physical. We have to, right, set the tone of what kind of defense we want to be. So when given the opportunity to send a message to our opponent, right, to the offense in practice, right, we're running through people, not around them.
Is there anyone specifically who's really stood out, who's made a big jump, I guess, in camp?
Yeah, I would say everybody's gotten a lot better, even from the season to spring ball, and then the spring ball, from spring ball to now. There's not one person that I'd single out, but the whole room has improved dramatically. So really excited about it, but got to keep going.
To lose guys like Justin and Marlowe from the group last year, how do you feel like that has kind of maybe shifted, not necessarily the leadership, but the style of play and figuring out who's going to be where? Yeah,
it's improved is the level of competition in the room, right? So a lot of guys have a legitimate fight to come in and claim a job. So everybody's working, from the ones to the twos, all the way, fours. Everybody's going harder than they ever have.
When you looked at the tackling last year, and I know you can't get in guys' heads, but did you guys think was it a lack of physicality, or was it like being like a half step slow because you're thinking more than reacting because you don't know the defense yet?
Yeah.
What do you guys think the main culprit was?
Yeah, I mean, on defense, just philosophically, we're trying to eliminate space, and offenses are trying to create space. And at times, just the way that things were going out, we weren't doing a good enough job eliminating space. So those one-on-one tackles, as opposed to being in what we call like a phone booth, right, really tight, now they were in 10 yards of space. So not only, it's not just the tackling, but it's angles to the football. It's how we take on blocks, right, to eliminate space so that those tackles are easier, as opposed to being wide open in the middle of the field with no sort of support around you.
Degree of difficulty on that tackle
Right.
is much harder.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you think that Derek McDonald's role is going to be this year? And as a leader, how would you say that he stepped up, or how would you describe his leadership style?
Yeah, his leadership style to me is like, I'm going to do every single thing right, and I'm going to go as hard as I can, right? So everyone else who's around like sees the way that he works, see the way that he doesn't complain. There's no questioning of anything. So if I'm a young guy and I look in and it's like, dang, that guy's been here for however long he's been and he's going this hard, like how could you not go as hard as same? As far as his role, he'll be used in a bunch of different scenarios and a bunch of stuff. A lot of that still playing out on the field, but he'll be a valuable part of our defense, both on the field and as a leader.
Coach Antoine Delorier physically seems to be getting a little ahead of the game right now. But
Yeah.
what does he have to learn as a young player in order to get on the field?
He's done a great job. He's a quiet kid, but when he steps on the field, he's super vocal, especially for being a freshman. As far as what he has to do to get on the field, he has to go, beat somebody out. But he's working really hard. He's obviously a physical presence. He's learned the defense really well, and he's competing. He's right there with a bunch of the guys in the room to earn a job.
We'll take two more for Coach.
Beyond McDonald's leadership on the field, the fact that he's the kind of guy who's winning community service awards, in the Syracuse City School District and whatnot, I just want to know as a coach what that means to you, to have a player who you coach that matters to.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal kid, right? Both in school, in the community, on the field. He's a joy to work with every day. I'm lucky. So you can't take it for granted while you have him. Marlo and JB were very similar to that. So I've just been really blessed, and you want to soak it up and make sure that I do everything that I can to make sure that his experience on the football field is what he deserves.
Were there any conversations between you and Fran in the off season, with expectations from you, expectations from the linebacker room?
Yeah, there's constantly conversations about that, both within the room and expectations for individual players as a defensive unit. Those conversations are pretty consistent here and continually ongoing. And it just, clear what we put on film last year wasn't up to the standard. So we want to win a national championship, so our defense needs to reflect that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Cool. Yeah, appreciate it.